grabs your weapon. Do you see all these people around you, huh? Look at me. You trying to kill one of them, or you trying to kill one of us?
Wow, a Fox News alert now. Action in Hollywood. It's getting a lot of attention and getting a little too real. The actor from The Sheild you just saw there, Michael Jace, charged with shooting and killing his wife with their 2 young sons under 10, both inside the house. TMZ reporting that Jace called the police and said, quote, "I just shot my wife before waiting for authorities to arrive." So, what was going on behind closed doors, and were there warning signs missed? We're joined right now by someone doing research on this, former NYPD detective who supervised homicide investigations and private investigator Thomas Ruskin. Tom, first off, as you research the case, we find out this is not atypical of these two.
No, it seems like they had a history of violence, or he had a history of violence on her, if you want to believe neighbors and friends. And it doesn't appear that they ever called the police, or that there were ever police reports or orders of protection or anything else put in place which would have protected her better.
Right. Before the actual shooting, they did hear screaming, according to a local ABC affiliate. But prior to that, the violence against her, who's now passed away, is dead, dates back to 1997.
Correct. And it doesn't, again, appear that there was ever an order of protection or something put in place. And there were safety things that she potentially could have done to protect herself. And now we have 2 young kids who supposedly watched this murder of their mother.
And sadly had to stay in at the police station for 4 hours. Now with a dad who looks like he's going to prison, a mom shot dead in front of them before Child Protective Services actually showed up. Even the police were upset. Let's look at some of the background of these two. According to a close friend, Jace choked and hit Bitterman, the wife, and slammed her against the wall while screaming in his crib, while the kids screamed in the crib to her. She saw at least 3 more incidents of violence in 8 months that she lived with the couple. Now, that earlier incident was back in the late 90s.
But, you know, again, you have someone who's seeing violence, who is doing nothing to help protect the wife in this case. You know, she could have called the police, and she could have done things. You know, there could have been court orders of protection. There could have been court orders to keep him away, to have a mutual place where they exchange the children. It appears that, you know, she just didn't do what could have maybe saved her life.
That's what it seems so on the surface. And also we find out, too, that in the divorce from his first wife, she actually appeared for him as a character witness.
But that's not unusual. I mean, sometimes victims of abuse do appear. It's sort of the Stockholm Syndrome, where they appear for their exes. We don't know if there were violence there, and I don't think we should assume that there was violence in the first relationship. But, you know, if there was, it wouldn't be unusual for her to show up.
I know you don't get into defense, but when you say, "I shot my wife," you stand there to be arrested. Does that play to your getting possible manslaughter down the line?
It could be, you know, temporary insanity. I mean, you know, if you want to play the defense card and you want to play devil's advocate for a sec, you potentially could look at a criminal defense of temporary insanity to defend him.
Drug and alcohol testing right there on the spot to find out if he was under the influence?
Probably later on.
All right, Thomas Ruskin, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Another Hollywood tragedy. All right, 10 minutes before the bottom of the hour, coming up straight ahead. Apparently, it's not your land. The president